Hey, what's up everybody? It's been a little while since we did a video, so I thought I'd do a little something. We are restoring Thief by Pacific Novelty. I got this cab free, essentially. I paid 50 bucks for it, but it had working boards and stuff in it. So I recognized it in the ad. It had actually been converted to a Mortal Kombat first, and then later on it was converted to a Killer Instinct. So this thing has sort of seen quite a lot of action in its life. Unfortunately, it seems to have spent most of that life in a swimming pool or perhaps a swamp of some kind, because look at that wood. Blech. Yep, that's just awful. And down here, let's see if we can get a shot of this. Look at this. Oh my word. Breakfast biscuits right there, soaked in milk. The back of the cab is also pretty awful too. Oh, look at it, look at it. It's fat and fluffy. Nobody likes that. Nobody wants that on their cabs. Go around here. Ugh, yuck. So, what are we going to do about that? Well, as I got the cab for free, and Thief is a pretty rare game, really, and you don't see it around much, so I figured, what the hell, let's give it a go. See if we can bring it back to life. So I've managed to source nearly everything I need through the guys at Clove. Got a working board back there, marquee, control panel overlay from Richard the Salt Game. Got our CP there, obviously it looks like Swiss cheese. Gonna have to repair that, fix that all back up again. Monitor that was in the cab already, chrome T-molding, original bezel here as well, to go with the marquee, which is also an original marquee. And then we're going to do the MP3 modification for this rather than relying on a janky old tape player. But I do have the cassette in that box though with the original recording on it. Already started into refinishing all the medals, the coin door, getting that all jazzed up and looking nice. But back to this cab. What the hell are we going to do with this? Well, we're going to amputate. I've never done this before, but I've certainly seen people do it on Clove, and they seem to have pretty good results. So, we're out here on a horrible December day in San Diego, and we're starting to cut panels to make the bottom 12 inches of the cab. We're going to recreate the entire bottom of the cab 12 inches deep, complete with the vents and the spacing, the T-molding, slots, feet, everything we need. And then when we've done that and we're feeling confident about it, we are just going to lob 12 inches off the bottom of this thing all the way around. Get rid of all of that bloat and nastiness. Try and keep the laminate up top here the best we can. I'm going to laminate this. I only have black, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to have to refinish this surface anyway with paint. So yeah, not really the most practical approach to a cab like this. A lot of people would say, just build another one. But I thought, I've never done an amputation and replacement before, a transplant, so I figured I'd give it a go. So that's what we're gonna do. Alright, I will come back in a little while when I've got something a little more to show you. But until then, look at these lovely little speaker grills. Okay, back to the woodworking. Out here, we've cut all the pieces that we need now. So we've got the base. Going to do braces on the inside of the panels. I wanted to do biscuit joints, but I don't have a biscuit cutter. And I went to see how much they were at the store, and they were like 190 bucks. I thought, oh, yeah, I think I'll do something else. Rear top vent panel, rear base vent panel, with the holes drilled to match the original. And then we've got the front panel base 12 inches high, and then the two sides we've already gone in there and done the routing, the slot cutting for the bases here. But what I want to do is I want to laminate these so that they at least have a similar kind of texture to the laminate that's on there. So hopefully when it comes time to actually sort of trying to blend the two together, that'll give me a little bit of help. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use some of this extra strong glue I've got here. See if I can find it on my shelf of lots of crazy stuff. Yeah, this is the stuff I like to use when I'm laminating. Loctite, heavy duty, I guess. Yeah, look, 300 heavy. This stuff comes out like spider webs, and you just leave it until it goes dry for about 5 minutes. Put it on both sides, and then push them together, roll them down, and boom, it's done. It's on. Then we're just going to route them up around the edges, and hopefully it should have nice, clean, laminated surfaces on these 3 pieces. Okay, let's go do that. Spiderweb glue! Here you go, look how freaky this stuff is. Crazy, huh? This is how it comes out of the tin. So that's the back of our laminate. Got the 3 pieces in total there, and we've done the same on the wood. Doesn't show up as much on the wood. But once this is dry to the touch, then we're just going to press these pieces together and roll them down real hard. And that's it, they'll be instantly bonded. So I'm just going to wait until those dry off, put them together, and then get them laminated. Alright, so we've put the laminate on now. You can see that's stuck down pretty good. Just push the pieces together and roll them down real hard with I use one of these rollers that I think it's like for floor vinyl or something, but it's really good for putting down vinyl and this kind of stuff. So a nice rubber firm roller does a good job. So I've got it all clamped down now, and obviously we want to trim all of the overhang off these pieces now, so we get a nice flush trim. So I'm going to use a flush trim bit here, my router, and finish all of the sides on all these pieces, and then we'll see what they look like. The mess from routing. Yeah, it gets everywhere. Does a good job though, the old Bosch. So here we go. Here are our talk like a pirate day. Here are our panels. Got them all laminated now, and we ran around with the flush trim bit. So we've got our slots, bottom front corner, just beveled off a little bit there for the front edge. So front panel, left side, right side, and all the other pieces. Got the base there, so now I'm going to start fixing the base up with holes for the feet, put some feet panels on feet, get that all ready, and then start assembling this and see if we can't create about 20% of a thief cab. So I changed my mind on doing the feet and decided to actually go ahead and build the box first, and then I can get around and do the feet later on. So just built the chassis, blocked it all in here, and screws and glues, get it all ready to go. And next is to add the side panels now, put this thing together. Let's do it. Alright, here we are. We got our front laminated plate on, looking pretty good. Got it all clamped, screwed here, and then got our back piece, which obviously doesn't need to be laminated. That's going to be painted black to the back of the cab in place. Now we just got to go ahead and do the sides. So let's get those on, and then we can move on to the feet. Alright, we're back again. Took a little bit of a break over the Christmas holidays. Time to get back to it now. Maybe work off some of that turkey and all them chocolate covered pretzels. Here we are with the thief cab. It's time to get a little crazy around here. Look at this. Look at this. Look. I mean, it's literally just, look. I think I've seen more substantial Weetabix in a breakfast cereal. That is just dissolving. So it's got to come off. It's all got to go. So we can see here where I've marked it all up. I've gone around, make sure I've got a good square line, taped it all out. So I'm going to be following this line all around the cab here, and trying to make it as square as I possibly can. See if we can just chop the entire thing off I have never done this before. I have no idea how this is going to go, but whatever, it's fun, it's a hobby. So let's get to some cutting and see what happens. Okay, there's the first cut with a jigsaw, straight as I could do it. I think it came out pretty good. Okay, let's move on to the sides. Cut number 2, and I'm deaf after trying to cut through that. Whatever they used on the side for the chipboard on the side was much tougher than the chipboard on the front. Bent the blade a little bit, so I might have to do a little bit of leveling on this. We'll see how it looks when we get the other side off, and hopefully the whole thing will come from there. Air defenders! What? Air defenders! Third cut, and off it came. Get out of here, you piece of shit. Look at that. Well, you can see where the bottom section here that we're going to replace has just soaked up all the way up to the top, but we've managed to get clear of all of the moisture damage by coming up this high. Let's go and look at the other side of the cab. So there you go, nice solid wood all the way, tiny little bit there, that's on the back. So you can see just how high it tried to climb up into this wood. Alright, so now we've got about 3/4 of a Thief. Make a good miniature cab. Obviously I'm going to replace this entire door, but I've kept it here for structure just for now. This piece we've already remade, so we know that's going to change out. And then the top, still a bit of a question as to whether I'm going to tackle the top. I may just soak that with wood hardener and sand it all down, get it all nice and smooth again. We'll see. Okay, so next thing now is lining up our new base with the old cabinet. I'm seeing just how much work I'm going to have to do as far as blending and aligning and gluing. So now the real fun starts. Let's do this. Now when I built the base to go onto the cab from before, I knew that I was going to have to trim it down. I couldn't just do measurements and just wing it and go with that. And there's measurements are all well and good, and you're doing them as many times as you like, but I've definitely learned over the years nothing comes as close to actually just lining things up and see how they fit together. So now that we've got the cab sort of chopped and ready to receive the base, I'm going to go in, I'm going to redo all of my measurements here, here, and just go back to the base and see if I need to do any trimming, any shaving, because I need to try and get these sides as aligned as perfectly as possible, because I'm working with the laminate, and I don't have the luxury of putting more laminate over the top, because that's going to make the sides of the cab too wide, and then the T-molding isn't going to meet up with it the way I want it to. So I've really got to just try and take my time and do the best I can. I don't know if the cab has warped a little bit over the years, but every 32nd of an inch that I'm off is going to make my job more difficult when it comes to blending and trying to get this cab to look like a single piece again. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to go in, I'm just going to trim and just keep going at it and try and get it as close as I possibly can before I commit to gluing and clamping this thing. Okay, our base is finished and done. Had a few little issues here and there, mainly because I do all of my cutting with a jigsaw. I just don't own a really good table saw or anything that's ultra accurate. I don't have the space for it, so I just have to make do with what I've got. So overall I managed to get the box pretty close, but if this is going to work, I've got to get this thing within like 1/100th of an inch, which for my woodworking skills is sort of close to impossible to do the first time. But where there's a will, there's a way. So as you can see, I've got some shims in here at the top. And what I was able to do was, by putting tension on the wood and then using a little bracket here, I was able to dial out the screw on the bracket just to let the wood out as far as I needed it to go. And while it might look a bit ghetto, by the time that's all glued, trimmed out, and we get a little bit of wood filler in there, it'll all disappear. I had to do the same on the back. My target was exactly 24.75 inches, like on the nose. So let's go in here. Let's just grab a tape measure real quick, and I'll try and do this one-handed. And go out from here. So as you can see, we are at, 24.75. Bang on. And so we'll go out here and we'll measure the same distance where this cabinet, whoa, shaky hand, is going to mate with that one, and there we are. We're at 24.75, just on the outside edge of the laminate. So that's as near as damn it. Same on the back here. Go here, 24.75 to the outside edges of the laminate. So I'm hoping that is going to get me close enough that when I put this in position and get it on the cab, that all of my critical edges are going to line up as close as they possibly can, and then the rest of the work can be done with a little tiny bit of filler after it's all been glued, screwed and put in place. So that's the progress so far. Fingers crossed. Okay, while we wait for the box to set and cure and be ready for putting on the rest of the cab, I'm going to address the rest of the issues on the back here. Just replace this entire door. Obviously that's a bit of a no-brainer, pretty easy to do. To take the power supply and everything off there. But yeah, it's just a piece of wood with a hole in it for a lock, so not really rocket science. Take those piano hinges out and replace that. This piece we already cut, should be over here somewhere. There you go. So, sorry, I'm holding the phone wrong here. We cut it, but I cut it oversized, so I'm going to have to trim that down. But that'll go in there. And then for the top, I'm going to go with the wood hardener. It's kind of ugly, but at the same time, it's just the top, and I don't want to rip the whole top of the cab out and just lose what structural integrity I have left. So I'm just going to get rid of the loose crap off of this, and I'm just going to soak the shit out of it with the wood hardener. And then when that's all hardened and finished, we can sand it all down, get it flat, give it a new coat of paint, and it will do what it needs to. So I'm going to take that approach. Alright, let's get these back panels replaced. I figured, well, I had the back door and everything off the cab that wasn't staying. This was my best opportunity to try and lift it up and put it on the base. It's not going to get any lighter than it is now. Unfortunately, I'm here on my own, so this will be interesting. And no, I'm not going to film myself doing this because it's going to be painful to watch. But let's see if I can get that thing up on there with some glue and set it in place, and see if all the measuring and back and forth has been worth it. Alright, here we go. Well, I managed to lift it up, and it wasn't as painful as I thought it was going to be. And here it is! Yay! Woo. Crowd goes wild. Yep, it fits. I'm so happy with this right now. Let's just come right in here. You can see how close that laminate is on both pieces. And take a look down the side there. Hard to get to focus, but it's real close. I'll take a sweep around the other side. Same in the front. Got a reasonable, got a pretty close match here, although it does turn into like a 1/16 of a lip just under there, see that? So hopefully I'll be able to level that out. I have to do a little work on there, but that's okay. That's okay. I mean, considering what we had to achieve here, and remember all of this was cut with a jigsaw by hand, so we're not far off. Let's have a look here too. Again, pretty spot on level wise. You can see I've got a little bit of lift here, but that's okay. I'm going to reinforce this from the inside too, so by the time this is all stuck and screwed in and reinforced, it's definitely not going anywhere. Again, down the side here, real nice and close, all the way down. Around the back, got it clamped in. And sorry, I'm fighting the light outside. Oh, there you go. Let's see how tight we are there. And on this side too. Tight, tight, tight. Like a tiger. Try and take a cruise down there. So I am super happy with this. I certainly don't consider myself a good woodworker. I mean, I can slap things together, but when you've got to make something mate this tightly, it's not something I was feeling very confident about. But it worked. So I'm just waiting for the glue to really set and solidify there. I wanted the cab upright when I put it on the base because I wanted to use all of the weight of the cab to push down and really sort of get that pressure on that glue and get it bedded in real nice. What I did to get this on here, you can see there's like a slanted back up inside the cab. I'll come around the front so you guys can see better. So yeah, so obviously the back slides like this. So I just kind of got inside it. I got inside underneath like this. Hi, Mum. And just lifted the cab up like that, the human jack. And that enabled me to sort of walk it up over the base and drop it in place, at least in a way that enabled me to then be in a place to position it and get it all clamped and tight. Alright, the base is on. So now, while that's all drying out, I'm going to go and do the back door and cut this panel, trim this down properly to get that in above the back door, and then start getting all that wood hardener on the top of the cabinet, and keep this thing moving along. Space, the final frontier. These are the... Oh, wait. Hang on, sorry, I get carried away sometimes. Thief cab! We're back. And here we go, round the back. I'm so silly. There's the rest of it. Top panel, new back door, bottom panel. I don't know how much of this damn cab is original anymore. But look, top's original. And crap. Still got to fix that. But that's fine. We all know how to use wood hardener and sand things down. So I'm not really going to bother putting that in this video. But there you go. Let's take a look inside the cab here. You can see I've done reinforcement panels, screws, glue, all the way through. Oh, look at that nice dribbly glue down there. That proves it's got glue in it. All the way around. So hopefully that is going to certainly stop this from shifting, along with the glue that we had in all of the joints all the way around as well. So we hope that is enough to keep it all solid and sturdy. Finally, we have a dry Thief cab. Pretty happy with the way this turned out. Got to still obviously do a lot of blending and a little bit of filling, sanding before we turn to paint and see if we actually manage to get away with an invisible blend. But that's going to be a whole other project, whole other video. Alright guys, I'm going to say this has been a successful build, and there'll be more videos in this series of the Thief Restore, but that just covers all of the woodwork. Let me flip this around here and just say thanks for watching. Obviously, if you want to stay up to date with all the other stuff that I've got going on, go to facebook.com/arcadeicons and youtube.com/arcadeicons.tv, Twitter, I don't even know anymore. Anyway, Arcade Icons, you know where to find me. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.